It's something we all do every single day without giving it a second thought. Taking a sip of water. It seems so simple, right? But the second that water passes your lips, it kicks off this incredibly complex journey inside your body. So in this explainer, we're going to follow that sip and uncover the amazing science behind it.
Okay, so you just took that drink. What's actually happening inside you right now? It's a way more dynamic and, frankly, a way more interesting process than you probably imagine. So let's trace that journey together. First up, let's talk about the speed run. How quickly does that water you just drank actually get to work? The journey from your glass to your cells is basically a race against time, and that starting pistol has just been fired. Just look at this timeline. The speed is pretty remarkable. Within just 5 minutes, that water is already showing up in your bloodstream. By about the 13-minute mark, half of it has been absorbed. But here's the real kicker. Full distribution, getting it into all your body's tissues, can take up to 2 hours. So yeah, that initial effect is fast, but complete hydration, that's a much more gradual process. And it's important to remember that not all liquids are created equal. If you want the fastest hydration possible, plain old water is your absolute best bet. Why? Well, because it has hardly any minerals and zero sugar. It just zips right through the stomach and into the small intestine where all the absorption happens. It's just incredibly efficient. Okay, so the water's in, but it's not just, hanging out. It gets to work, and it actively starts changing how your body functions, starting with something that might actually surprise you, your metabolism. Yeah, there's a pretty cool scientific term for this effect. It's called water-induced thermogenesis. To put it simply, it just means that the very act of drinking water literally fires up your body's calorie-burning engine. And we're not talking about a tiny little boost here. Research has shown that drinking just 500 milliliters of water, that's about a standard water bottle, can crank up your metabolic rate by a staggering 30%. And this effect starts within 10 minutes and hits its peak about half an hour after you drink. So what does a 30% metabolic boost actually feel like in the real world? Well, this quote just nails it. When your internal engine is running more efficiently, you feel it. You get improved endurance, more comfort, especially when you're working out. It's a direct, tangible benefit you can actually notice. But it's not just about that short-term boost. Consistent hydration plays this huge long-term role in protecting some of our most vital organs. We're talking about the heart and the kidneys. This slide really breaks it down. On the left, when you're dehydrated, your blood volume actually drops. So your body tries to compensate, right? It constricts your blood vessels and hangs on to sodium, and all of that drives up your blood pressure. But with proper hydration, on the right, you get the total opposite effect. It keeps your blood volume steady and helps your kidneys do their job, which is flushing out all that waste. And this isn't just a theory. It's backed by hard data. A 12-week study found that people who simply increased their daily water intake saw a significant drop in their systolic blood pressure. Their bodies also had fewer waste products in their blood, and that is a key factor for protecting your kidneys in the long run. All right, now here's a connection that I'm willing to bet most of us have never even considered. The amount of water you drink during the day can have a direct impact on how well you sleep at night. A study that used wearable sleep trackers found this fascinating link. For people who are just mildly dehydrated, there was this really strong correlation between how much water they drank and how long they spent in REM sleep. You can see it right here on the chart. Higher water intake led to way longer periods in this supercritical sleep stage. So why? What's going on? Well, the leading theory points to the brain's glymphatic system. The best way to think about it is like an overnight cleaning crew that clears out all the metabolic junk from your brain while you sleep. And this whole process is most active during REM. And what fuels this cleaning crew? Cerebrospinal fluid, which is made almost entirely of, you guessed it, water. But this brings us to a really crucial point. Hydration isn't a competition to see who can drink the most water. It is a delicate balancing act. And believe it or not, tipping the scales too far can actually be pretty dangerous. The medical term for this is hyponatremia. And what it means is that when you drink way too much water, way too quickly, you can actually dilute the sodium levels in your blood. This imbalance causes fluid to rush into your cells, making them swell up, which, as you can imagine, is especially dangerous when we're talking about brain cells. This is exactly why it is so important to know the red flags. So, if your urine is consistently clear, with no color at all, that could be a sign you're overdoing it. And you really want to pay attention to other things too, like nausea, a headache that just won't go away, or feeling confused. These can all be signs that your body's vital electrolyte balance is off. And just to put this into perspective for you, a healthy kidney can only process about 1 liter of water per hour. If you start pushing your body way beyond that limit, that's when you can get into trouble. So it's not just about how much you drink, it's about how fast you're drinking it. So what's the big takeaway here? It's that smart hydration is about being mindful, not just hitting some magic number. So first, sip steadily through the day instead of chugging. Second, use your urine color as your personal hydration gauge. You're aiming for a pale yellow. Third, don't forget to eat your water. Fruits and veggies are full of it. And finally, and this is the most important one, listen to your body. Your needs change every single day depending on what you're doing and where you are.
And that really leaves us with one final question to think about. That old 8 glasses a day rule, it was a decent starting point. But the real science points to something way more personal. It's about making a shift from just counting glasses to actually listening. Because smart hydration isn't a rule you follow. It's a conversation you have with your body.